Great Western Homecoming, written and told by Kiefer Adams. Duck, the Great Western Engine, had worked on the Fat Controller's railway for as long as he could remember. He enjoyed every single moment of it, from the opening of his branch line on the Little Western to putting Gordon, Henry and James in their place. But Duck wished he could have a change of scenery, and the Fat Controller knew this too. One afternoon, Duck had finished his work early. The Fat Controller wanted to see him. "Duck," he said, "I've just received a call from your old controller on the Great Western Railway. One of your brothers has been taken in for an overhaul, and he requested you to help out on the railway." Duck was flattered. But sir, what about the work here?" "I'm sure the other engines will be all right," said the Fat Controller. "You best hurry, though. Your controller requested you to be there by sundown." The Fat Controller turned and walked away. Duck was nervous. He had not been to the Great Western Railway for a very long time. Duck's crew prepared him for the long journey ahead. "What if the other engines will forget me?" he thought to himself. "There's no doubt about that, Duck," called a voice. Duck turned as Oliver arrived. "Oh, you heard," Duck whispered meekly. "Well, most of us have," said Oliver. "I personally came to see you off." Duck felt a little reassured. Oliver gave a warm smile. "Don't you worry about the Little Western," he promised. "Toad and I will keep it in order. Besides, someone's got to." Duck gave a worried look. "I hope I come back soon," he said. "I've made so many friends here." "We'll all be here when you get back," Oliver promised. Duck blew his whistle to this and set off for the Great Western Railway, wondering what was going to happen while he was away. At first, the trip went well, until Duck approached the station that led to the mainland. Unfortunately, his journey was stopped short by Elizabeth, the vintage lorry. Elizabeth had been struggling to move a cart off the line. She was trying her best, but to no avail. "Can I help?" asked Duck.
"You can help me by waiting there,"
sniffed Elizabeth. Duck waited and waited. Elizabeth was doing her best to move the cart. Eventually, she managed to move the cart off the line.
"Oh, that Trevor!"
she flounced.
"Leaving carts where they don't belong. Ugh!"
She didn't even acknowledge Duck as she rattled away with the cart in tow. Duck sped down the line and across the bridge that led to the mainland. He hoped he wouldn't be too late to arrive on his old railway. Despite the delay, Duck managed to arrive at the entrance of the Great Western Railway just as the sun was about to set. As Duck slowed to a junction, he was surprised to find a large green tank engine beside him. "Well, bust my buffers!" he exclaimed. "Montague, is that you?" Duck stared at the engine carefully. "I don't believe it! Gavin! It can't be!" "The one and only," smiled the tank engine. "I heard you were coming, but I didn't take it quite seriously. Welcome home, Montague." "Well, I prefer Duck, as you know," the pannier tank chuckled. "Oh, it's been too long, Gavin. Hope you're doing well." "I wish I could say the same for that brother of yours," said Gavin. "Hopefully you'll do well in his place. You best head to the yards. There's a surprise waiting for you." Confused, but happy to be home, Duck scurried away. Gavin chuckled to himself. "He won't be prepared for this," he thought to himself. The sun was just starting to set as Duck arrived in the yards of the Great Western Railway. He was tired, but thankful to finally be back. He was just thinking about topping up with some coal and water after the long journey when a loud, familiar Great Western whistle echoed around the yard. Duck's eyes widened when he saw who came towards him. "Well, bless my buffers!" exclaimed City of Truro as he pulled up towards Duck. "I thought I'd never see you again." "Truro!" cried Duck. "What an honour! What are you doing here?" "I'm taking part in a special gala," replied City of Truro. "And I understand you're here for a special purpose too." Duck smiled and quickly explained everything. City of Truro beamed. "You'll do well, Duck," he said. "A Great Western engine through and through." City of Truro was then called away, and Duck was soon topped up with coal and water. He was really going to enjoy his time back on the Great Western Railway for certain. Years went by, and Duck found himself staying on the Great Western Railway longer than he first expected. But it was great to be in the company of Gavin and City of Truro, who kept Duck company during his stay. Eventually, Duck's brother managed to complete his overhaul, and Duck was happy to finally head back to the island of Sodor. But when he returned, he found that things were very different. There seemed to be a lot of new engines that he didn't remember seeing before, and some of his old friends didn't seem to be around anymore. A storm had recently hit Sodor, and Duck was immediately put to work. He was also told to remind Emily about collecting Trevor for the airport. But that's another story.